the people's best reaction to the 2025 Elvestar Grand Prix. Okay, we're finally back. I know we're late for this. I feel we're usually late nowadays. Yeah, seems so, but we're to talk about the Elvestar Grand Prix. First of all is our race rating. This might be controversial, but I'm gonna go for an 8 out of 10. I'm gonna go for like a 7.5. I'm gonna go for an 8 as well. It wasn't a dull race. It was a pretty good race. I would rate it an 8. And yeah, we started out. We didn't do a qualifying bid, so George was second. He didn't bottle. And yeah, Manton. It was an interesting race. It was fairly standard. It was kind of like the rest of the season until the safety car happened. Until Nigel and who was it made that contact? Nigel and Barry. Which, like, isn't this the second time they've made contact? I'm pretty sure, like, some round last year they made contact. Not sure if it was Livingston or what. But I feel like they made contact, like, some round last year. But yeah, I think that was Nigel's fault. Should not have been going for that gap there. And that kind of spiced up the race, because his mom was coming in. They actually did something different, because at the first pit stop they did the exact same thing, and it kind of annoyed me again, because like, are you kidding me? Another replay, Manton's still gonna win. So yeah, honestly it was a little bit annoying. But then yeah, it all changed once that safety car came out. And put this epic standoff with George, coming out of the pit. Well, Man's coming out of the pits and George flying by. Yeah, that was probably the best moment of the race. Because that was the first that they've gotten to be together. Too bad it wasn't really a fight. There was a fight in the first stint, though. Which didn't last very long. It lasted for about a lap. And then before we get to the end, we have to talk about it. That insane move that David Norris, my boy, pulled on Mario. Yeah, I could agree, that was absolutely sensational. Great move. Great move, the first corner was used quite a lot, but it's a very risky place to do it. Because it's such a fast corner, so it's not really slowing down. You have to have a good exit out of the last corner, which we're seeing overtakes mostly around the outside of the lollipop. I really like the lollipop. It really was a good overtaking spot this race. And it's just a track you can just generally overtake at. But yeah, George won. Finally, first non-Ford win of the season. And it stops Manton's winning streak, which was 8 wins. I didn't even know it was that much, honestly. Yeah, 8 wins on the bounce. I forgot he had won so much. I forgot he appeared for the last season as well. But yeah, that is just insane. But yeah, finally another winner, a different winner. George's second win of his career. Good point for him, good race for him. Finally put the critics to bed a little bit by finally delivering in a car that I think should have won at least 3 of those races. Yeah. Still some negatives there. Alcon manages to finish third. Of course, David managed to get P4. Mario and P5, good fight they had there. Jones just seemed to have like increased pace around here. Roger and Mark, we didn't see them at like all. Like, they had very boring races, especially Roger. I didn't expect him to stay in P7. He had a really pretty bad race, in my opinion. Like, just with nothing going on in his race. Yeah, then BMW managing to get double points, which is probably one of the highlights of the weekend. Dragonman having a pretty sensational weekend by his standards. Because, yeah, managing to get points in both the sprint and the race, it's not an easy feat. And now he has 2 points this season. Of course, we can't ignore, who got Mon getting 9th. Pretty mediocre race from him, but to get beaten by a BMW is just wild, honestly. When your teammates almost won the race. But you know, that's what we've been used to, so yeah, I can't really compromise. It's just mostly what we've been used to from him for a while. And yeah, nothing really else. Yellow Sheep didn't look great at all. And so far, the first race they haven't looked great. Audi Sport didn't. It was an increased performance from McKenna, but Audi Sport still didn't look great. Emerald had an increase in pace, but Frank had a horrendous race and horrendous qualifying. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for our Elvestar talk. Yeah, next round, Canada. I forgot Canada has an early slot in the season now. But yeah, it'll be in 2 weeks' time. And we might actually finally get driver ratings done. It might come tomorrow or it might come Friday. I'm not sure. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.